Hey, welcome back to Live, the stream where I need to get a haircut. But for now, you get to see me look like Simba. Anyways, hope everybody's doing well. It's Friday afternoon. Been streaming in the mornings a lot, but it's Friday. Did a bunch of stuff this morning and thought streaming in the afternoon might be just good. Got some coffee, got some water, and I got shit to do. So let's get to it. Bum, ba-dum, bum. So, just a couple things be working on again. For those who caught the stream in the recent weeks, I've been working a lot on the MCP app demo for work. Going to be digging into some of that, but I also have to just do some backporting of some docs. So, one of the things I worked on recently was giving the ability to have our docs expose a LLM's text file. So that's all done, and I had to do some tweaks to it. So I was serving raw HTML where I was supposed to be serving Markdown instead. So you can check out the issue if you want there, or sort of PR. Just go drop that over on LinkedIn as well. Bum, ba-dum, bum. There we go. Okay. So what I was working on earlier today that I need to backport. Okay, cool. So yeah, that's what I got to do. Got to backport this stuff. So essentially, well, let's just show you what it gives you right now. So you get this. I'll drop this in the chat. This isn't backported to the main docs yet, like I said, the last release, but this is what I will be backporting. So you can see that there. And if you haven't seen an LLM's text file, basically it's a bunch of links. It's not like a seems somewhat similar to a sitemap in some respects, but this is really for LLM consumption. And so it's a bunch of links generated. So you can see here, this is like the Pomerium Zero Quick Start, and it points to this file called content docs here. So if I come to here, boom, you're going to see the markdowns there. And that's great. And let's see what else. Yeah, basically, this is what the LLMs will slurp up. And what else? I am noticing some other things here. Let's just check. Let's check another file here. Okay, interesting. So that one strips the front matter. This one didn't for some reason. It's got the title, but interesting. Something to look into, I guess. I'll take note of that. So let me just open my notes. Let's put this over here. Okay, still a bit wonky. All right, cool. All right, so anyways, so we've got all these markdown files now, and this is what you can slurp up in an LLM. And I can show you this in action, actually. So let's go to VS Code, and let's just open up. I got a bunch of things going on here because I was, excuse me, working on docs before, but let's go into chat here. And so there's a few things here. So in agent mode here, there's other things we've got now. We've got mcp.json. Uh, where is it? Settings. No, that's not what I want to do. Let's do MCP. Nope, don't want that either. MCP. Uh, browse servers, list servers. Okay, so yeah, so I have the Pomerium docs, and I'm gonna start server. It should be okay. Oh, it's gonna fail because I'm not actually. Am I serving it? Oh yeah, it is running. Okay, so let's just see here. Yeah, okay, that is running. So if we come here, perfect. Okay, I just want to get to the mcp.json file though. Settings, focus, open workspace folder, MCP configuration. What's that? No, that's not it. Open user configuration. Yeah, okay. So basically those LLM docs that LLM text docs that I made, uh, you can also use there's some an MCP server called MCP doc and it's currently running and I'm pointing to the Pomerium docs here and this is the LLM text here. So now I can come over here and I can leverage that. So you got tools here and you should see if I look up Pomerium, you can see it's selected. Now I can ask questions about Pomerium. And I think we'll probably end up having a public remote MCP server because with this particular setup, like if I just drag this over a second, there's a couple things. One, you need to be running Python, which maybe isn't a big lift. UVX, which I learned today because I haven't really done a lot of Python, is like NPX. So basically, it'll start the MCP doc server, and then you can pass in some URLs. In this case, it's Pomerium, but you could add more than one, I guess. But now I can use this to search or like ask questions. So like we have a new feature called native SSH in Pomerium, which I can show you. It's super cool. But let's see if I say, how do I configure SSH for Pomerium? Okay, why is it not kicking in? Okay, that is correct. But why did it not go to the docs? I think you kind of have to say go to the docs in the Pomerium docs. I don't know if that's a trigger for the MCP server to kick in, but let's see here. Of course, it's not going to work. It is running. Let's see, two tools. Okay, restart. Okay, so it is definitely running. Let's try. Let's see here. Uh, what? Uh, let's see here. Does Pomerium have enterprise clusters? It should kick in. I am using this tool, right? And to be clear here, this is not a failure on the LLM's text thing I made. I'm just trying to figure out why the MCP server isn't kickstarting. Let's see. I just wanted to show it, but anyways, documentation. No, working. Come on. I'm being done dirty here on the live stream. Anyways, there's other ones here, but yeah, that's annoying that it's not doing it. Let me make sure that that's actually there. Yeah, that's good. I think it could be tool overload, maybe. Let's do this. Um, let's do Pomerium. I know like too many tools is an issue sometimes. So let's see here. Let's try that again. Uh, explain how to configure enterprise clusters in Pomerium using their docs. Is that going to kick it in? No? All right. Well, anyways, the LLM's text works. I'm not sure why this MCP doc isn't working. Let's try another. I'll try one more though, just for fun. Uh, Let's try one more time. Nope. Okay. Well, anyways, fail. But the main point was to show LLM's text working, which it does, but I was going to show it in the context of the MC piece over here. But anyways, I digress. Okay, let's close that. Uh, so I didn't check, but I'm pretty sure all my things are up and running. I'll go check Twitch just for fun, but yeah, it's working. Okay, cool. All right. So, anyways, let's get rid of this. Okay, where are we? Uh, Clear. Okay, so I've already fixed that one. So we're going to switch work trees. Let's go back to the main one. Doo. Did not mean to quit. Too quick on the trigger here. Okay. All right, we're on the main branch. Make sure we have latest. Okay. Clear. Remove a work tree. Yes, that one's done. Okay. So what are we doing now? So basically, I made these changes. They're basically in the docs for the next release. That's why we have like main.docs.primarum.com. But I need to backport this to the release that just happened. So if we come over here, I had one that backported. If we go to merged, uh, this one, I believe. Yeah, so this is a backport GitHub action. You basically, the way we have it configured is, this is the first time uh, Premiere was the first place I saw this GitHub action, but basically backport just means you're putting it back to a previous version, whatever that is. But basically, I added the label backport. That's how it kicks in, and that worked for this one. It probably where does it say? You can see here backport actions token. It kicked in. It created the one here that got merged, which I approved. That's good. But the first one I did, which was the one that was most of the changes, which is this one, I added a backport to it. And then you can see here it failed. I don't know why it failed, like conflicts or whatever. So I'm just going to literally copy what they say here. And I'm going to run that here. And let's see what it says. So we're going to get the latest from GitHub. We're going to add a new work tree, and we're going to call it work trees backport 3030, sure. And we're going to navigate to the new work tree. We're going to check it in. We're going to switch. Okay, it's going to create a backport uh, branch. Hey, how's it going, Will? How you doing? Good to see you. Yeah, okay, so basically this should just do everything. So let's go ahead and run it. Okay, so there's some conflicts, and that's why it failed last time. So, sorry, that's why the automation failed, which is fine. And I'm pretty sure that's because this I don't need. Uh, Okay, we actually need to switch to that new tree. Let's go to this one. And I saw you've been at a lot of conferences, Will. Hope you're doing well. Let's do yarn install. What's it not like in? Oh, because there's conflicts. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. In the package JSON. That makes sense. Okay. So let's see what we got going on in here. Let's close the sidebar. Okay. So what's the conflicts we got here? Okay. Uh, let's go with the newer one, I guess. Yeah. Except incoming. That's good. Okay. It failed because we had some new dependencies. That makes sense. Okay. and then sea spells by the seashore or whatever. Okay, we're gonna accept incoming. There we go. And we're gonna do that. Yeah. Where else is there conflicts? Looks good. Okay, that's good. Let's open this back up. And then let's see, what else do I need to do? Let's do clear. So then it's going to, okay, I just need to commit. So let's generate a message here, chore, and we'll say backport. Okay, that's good. And then let's do this part and clear. So we're going to say push upstream, delete the working tree, sharp. Okay, clear. Let's go to, okay, yeah, sure. Okay, yeah, there is none. Okay, so that looks like that's done. So let's go ahead and there should be a PR up here. Compare and pull request. What? Bot scraping. What is that? Okay, so compare pull request. Okay, that looks right. That looks right. Okay, enable bot scraping for the new release. Okay, what is this? Let's see. That got in the release last week. Okay, wait. Oh, I don't want to go back to main. I want to go back to, what is it? 0.30. No, what is it? There we go. Okay, that makes sense. And then let's do this again. It's not bot scraping, but okay, backport. Okay, so there's just my one change now, one commit, I should say. Okay, that's good. Oh yeah, this SIF remark. What happened here? Windows SIF. What is that? Document.body or document.head child append. That's not related to my changes. Why is that in there? So back. Okay, I guess that's just something that came with main. So we're gonna update the LLM's text. That's all good. Just wondering what these SIF changes are. Let's see here. Unshift Windows push. Okay, function. It looks like it's just moving brackets, and this is just for Windows.sift. Okay, so this is like, I don't know what. This is just prettier in action, I think. I can confirm that actually. Let's do this. Sift. And this file doesn't even exist, really? What is this from then? Statics JF Sift. Okay, let's see here. Let's open code here. So code dash R. Okay, Sift. Okay, so let's close a few things here. So this is how it currently is. And if I save this, does it apply it? No. Oh yeah, okay, let's do this. This is the original one in the older branch. And if I nothing's changing. Oh, let's switch to the 30 branch. No, this should be the 30 branch. So if I copy that, here we go. I'm just trying to see what it changed here. Like I can see brackets being moved, but I'm just trying to understand. I wonder if it's let's do new. Okay. So when I save it there, okay, you can see this is the old way. And that's the new way. So it's just formatting it, but all right. I think I'm okay with that, but I would say just probably remove that. Can we unbackport that? Or actually, let me check if that was in my files that got merged. Actually, let's keep that open. Let's do documentation, pull requests, merged. This one. Okay, we had 5 files. Was Sift. Oh, okay, so Sift did end up in there. Okay, so it got formatted as part of the thing. Okay, sure. Yarn lock was not included. Should be, or was it? So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. And what do we have over here in terms of files? How many? 5 files. Okay, so we're good, I think. Okay, that's fine. Engineering. This is not what this is. Uh, chore backport. Actually, you know what? Why don't I look at what the syntax it normally uses for the backports for the title? Let's go merged. Okay, so it's literally the same title. Okay, cool. So let's go with this. Boom, and this, and backports. What's that number? Merged. Wrong repo. Let's go. Here we go. All right. Pull requests. I'm leaning sideways for some reason. Okay, 1921. Okay. To the 0.30 release docs. All right. Let's create that pull request. Okay, let's see what happens. What's going on? Just gonna check a few things. Cool, 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 cool. Boom. All right. I think that's in a good place. Okay, it passed the check, so let's just do ba-da-ba-ba. Let's do just can do. Okay, that's cool. That's done. Let's see here. Look at that stuff after. Okay, that's stuff. All right, okay. I think we're in a good place there. Let's go to the main show. Working on background mode in OpenAI for the MCP demo app. So let's get that up and running. Don't need that open. Boom. Okay. And MCP app demo. So if you're up for it, feel free to give the MCP demo app a star. Doo-doo. Drop that over there too. So Uh, what is this? I think people who check out the stream more regularly know what this is, but like I can give a quick demo because I see Will is in the chat. Okay, don't save. Okay, we're gonna open up new project or MCP app demo. Let's go to there. Let's close a bunch of windows, get some real estate, and uh, work tree list, background mode. That's where we were. Okay. So what are we working on? Okay. Let's actually start this up. And I got to do some port forwarding. So let's forward port 5173. Gonna make that public. Gonna add another port 8080. This is for I have a MCP server running on there that I'm gonna start in a second. Cool, cool. Yeah, we'll do. Well, yeah. Hey, what's up, Light? Hope you're doing well. Okay, let's go over to Ghosty. Clear. Okay, let's go to dev work dbmcp. Go run main go. Okay, we're in action there. Okay, MCP server is fully operational. Death Star style. Okay. Oh, and I got a bunch open here. So let's close this one. And let's close this one. Okay. So let's go see this in action. So this is live. You can access this URL, but you're not going to be able to log in. But so this started off as okay. Yeah, I've got to let me go to the main branch because this is the one I'm working in and at the moment. Uh, MCP app demo, cool. And then let's do work tree list and okay, we're in the right one. We're in main. So let's do nr dev, npm run dev. Okay, that's all good. Let's reload this. Just give it a sec here. Do I know about Terry Davis? No, I do not, Light. I don't even know. Well, I'm not even sure who Terry Davis is, or if even if I knew one, I'm not sure what the context is. So hopefully you're not about to blast my chat with weird stuff. Okay, so essentially the MCP demo app. This started off as me and some of my teammates went to the AI World Fair. It's like about a month ago now, month and a week maybe. And so Pomerium, where I work, is an identity aware proxy. So, in a nutshell, think of it as a gateway. And what this gateway gives you as an identity aware proxy is you get an identity provider. So, think your login like Google, GitHub, whatever your company uses, Keycloak, if you're a dev. Okay, haha, no mate. Okay, cool, cool. Uh, yeah, so I'm not sure who Terry Davis is, but feel free to give the deets there, light. Um, so you get the identityware proxy as your gateway, and so you get your login. That's you can kind of bring whatever you want to use. There's a policy engine, so this decides like can Nick actually access this thing or not. And then there's the proxy, which once you're logged in and you pass all the policy checks for the particular route you want to get access to, you get access to it. So basically, any internal apps. That's what we secure. We're good with Kubernetes too. But the fun thing is, so we're not an AI company, but MCP servers run at the app layer, so layer 7 of the network stack, so like HTTP. So like just the nature of what we do works really well with MCP. So we secure MCP servers now. And so the cool thing about that is you get a lot of nice security things with that too. But I'll drop a link to our docs on this, but ba, ba, ba. Let's look up MCP. Feel free to read more about it. Uh, okay, he was a programmer. He made Temple OS and unfortunately got diagnosed of schizophrenia and passed away in 2018. Oh, that's pretty rough. I know it's not 2018, but still, that's pretty tragic. Uh, I must ask though, any reason you brought that up, Light? It's on your mind, or just something I said triggered Temple OS or something? I'm not sure. Uh, MCP docs for Pomerium. Just dropping this over on the LinkedIn as well. Da, 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 da. Okay. All right. So I'm not going to go through all the docs here, but this is. I'll show you the config in a sec. Actually, let's do that. Um, Let's go back to Ghosty, and I'm gonna log in with native SSH going through Pomerium, which is one of my honestly new favorite features that we released. Jump. All right. So this is a side note. This has nothing to do with MCP right now, but I'm SSHing into my no, no, it's all good. Like I was just curious. Nothing wrong talking about it. I just thought something made it top of mind. So the cool thing about this, and again, this has nothing to do with MCP. This is just a cool feature that we dropped, which solves a lot of pain points for me in terms of connecting to SSH boxes in the cloud. But everything I mentioned about the identity aware proxy a second ago, it all applies to native SSH now. So I can click on this link here, or I gotta open it. I think it did something to make it not clickable, but it's usually clickable in there. Gonna come here. It's gonna ask me to log in. I'm gonna confirm, and then now I'm logged in. And the cool thing about this is I SSH'd in. This is on DigitalOcean, but I SSH'd in going through the Pomerium the IdentiWare proxy, which is pretty freaking cool. Uh, and one of the reasons why it's cool is like, usually SSHing into your servers is kind of like a break glass kind of situation. But if you do need to do that, you can get all that security posture you get with Pomerium for other things. In my case, it's convenience because I'm usually working on demos that are just hosted on DigitalOcean. So, all right. So let's go to the demo, and I'm just going to open up the config.yaml. So this is a configuration for Pomerium. Uh, yeah, exactly. I'm gonna guess there's to your point, Will. There's people securing MCP servers for sure. Like I said, we're not an AI company. It just happens like the nature of how the identity aware proxy works is it just fits really well. And there's some other things I can talk about why I think we're a good choice too, uh, but I just kind of want to go through the setup here first. So uh, this is still an experimental feature, so you have to enable this runtime flag here. It's going to be coming to Premiere Zero, which is another offering we have, but there's a few cool things here. We have OTel tracing already, but you can also log additional fields. So like which MCP tool was called, which MCP method, tool parameters. But because we're going through the proxy, one of the big things that like a lot of people are concerned about in general, but especially with AI, is observability and security. So like we're checking off those two boxes already. Um, but let's come down here and let's go to, okay, so the MCP demo app, which is the chat app I have here. Uh, yeah, hey Will, if you want to chat, I'm definitely not trying to sell it to you, but happy to demo to you or just check out what I can go through the whole thing here actually, to save you time. But essentially, you configure a route. Routes are a pretty typical thing you do in Pomerium. So you have like the from part here. So here, this is the one we're working on right now. So the from is the public facing URL. So with an identity aware proxy, you're always going to have public facing URLs. And I can talk about, if anybody wants to hear more about like identity aware proxies in general, it's based off of zero trust security, and this came out of Google in the 2010s because they had a massive security breach. So they literally rethought security from the ground up, scrapped VPNs, as far as I know, and they just went with zero trust. So you basically end up with these routes, and routes in the context of an identity aware proxy aren't like thinking of like an API route in like a Next.js app or something. If you do a lot of front end, it's really the route is like a separate application, and there's a lot of reasons for that too. But in this case, you can see here, so the from route is the public facing, and then you can see the two here. And this is because I'm in development mode right now, but I'm using port forwarding in VS Code. But I'm basically saying when I go to dev.mcp.masonlab.dev, go to this URL, and then the security all applies and stuff. But in a production environment, you don't do this. This is just a stopgap measure I'm doing for development purposes at the moment. We have better DX coming, but for now, this is the best way to do it. Um, so if we were to look at another route, typically like the two here, you can see this is running in Docker Compose. So this is only on the Docker network. So this is not you can't go to that URL. So the main point with an identity aware proxy is it's always public facing, there's policies, there's an identity provider, and if all that checks out, you get access to that particular resource that's internal, that is never exposed to the internet, and it just proxies through there. And the other interesting things are, it's not like a one-time check, like hey, like you're logged in and there's like some session cookie the rest of the time. This is like literally verifying every request you do. And the reason why you can do that in terms of like latency is like negligible is because the identity aware proxy is hosted at your network edge, wherever that is. So whether that's in like AWS, Azure, or like Google Cloud, like in my particular case, this is on a DigitalOcean droplet right now. So it's hosted there. This is like demo setup for me, but Pomerium's there and my services are running there. So like there's no latency. And the nice thing about that too is, so we don't have a cloud offering. You always host this. So there's like an infra aspect to it, but this is important for security reasons as well. We never see your data. Your data doesn't flow through it flows through our software, but it's on your network edge. So like we never have access to it. Anyways, there's the TLDRs, you define routes and you have policies. So like I'm using very basic policies here. So I'm just saying anybody with an email domain name of pomerium.com or nikiT.co can access this thing. Um, uh, Also, yeah, I was gonna say, well, drop me a DM after if, and I can get you more info if you want. But essentially, in the context of MCP, it's the same thing except you have a new section here. So MCP, and then in our case here, the chat app that you saw there a second ago, it's an MCP client. So you just have this config here, not much to it. But if you want to have like an MCP server, we come down here. Where is it? Okay. So again here, that's not it. Where is it? Okay, yeah, here. So here's my MCP server. Uh, so it's called northwind.mcp.maisonlab.dev. That's the public URL. And the reason being it's called Northwind is because it's not a real sales database. It's Northwind, which is like if you've been in programming for quite a while, it's a test database that's been around forever. This one is also forwarding. This is not something you do in production, just because I'm running it on my local. But I could host it on the droplet here, and I could just have it within the Docker network. Okay, so anyways, that's how that all works. Oh, yeah, let me just show you the config there. Where was it? Where'd you go? I'm still getting better at Vim. I know a bunch more shortcuts, but I'm trying to go to places real quick by finding text. But I'll learn some more. Yeah, Northwind is still a thing. Yes. Okay, yeah. So like there was the MCP client config, here there's a server config. Now there's not much to do here. You're just literally saying this is an MCP server. So what does that give you exactly? So let's come back to here and let's okay, so we've got our chat app here now. There's some cool things I want to show too, which have nothing to do with MCPs. It's like some OpenAI features, like I can generate charts through this code interpreter tool that I implemented. Um, it's OpenAI's code interpreter, but I mean just wiring it up and stuff. But there's a few things here. So because this is an MCP client, um, you get the header like you're secured by Pomerium to log into this. Like we could do the whole flow here. I can sign out. Now, showing this being signed out, it's not really that exciting. It really looks like I'm just logging into an app, but all those policies are kicking in. It's just I happen to have a very basic policy. But let's look. We have this sales database, and if we go to that now, this is an MCP server. And a couple things I want to mention here is if you're running an MCP client in Pomerium, and you're hosting MCP servers that are in Pomerium, we handle the whole OAuth flow to it. So this MCP server is already secured with OAuth because of Pomerium. So I can ask something. I can say like, get me the sales for the last 10 years. Now, you're gonna see it's making a tool call, so, I'll open up some of these, but you can see here, yeah, there's a tool call error, that's okay, but you're gonna see here, uh, tell me about the tools this MCP server has, the sales DB one, and it has a few. It's got this describe table, list tables, and this read query. So it goes to try and do this read query, and essentially it's making a SQL query, but it kind of made up the table name. It thinks there's a table called sales. There isn't. It's orders and order details. So then it goes again and it's trying to figure out, oh, maybe I got the wrong table. So describe me a table again. And it goes around and then it gets a list of the tables. And then it finds, okay, I got orders. So it found the right one. And then it finally makes the proper call. And then it does this SQL here. So we get the orders. And then I see it the last 10 years. That's great. So this is obviously a demo database like the MCP server, but the thing to just convey here is at this point, this is internal data that's exposed as an MCP server that's secured with Pomerium. So like I can go and grab this same MCP server. So let me just get the actual route, sort of server. So this is the server address. This is just a special URL to get them. But let me come into VS Code and MCP settings. Where is it? Open user configuration. So I have some MCP servers in here. Did I get rid of it? Okay. So I don't have it there right now. So we're going to go ahead and add the Pomerium sales database one. So let's do MCP add server. I'm going to choose HTTP and I'm going to put the URL and I'm going to we'll call it sales DB, enter. Let's make it global. Okay. So now you're going to see I'm in VS Code, which is an MCP client. It's it's not connecting to my MCP server yet because I have to go through the login flow. Now it's going to auto log me in because I'm already logged in. But you're going to see here, of course, it's a demo. Of course, something's going to go wrong. Um, let's see what it did. Did it start it? Okay, it seems to be running. So let's see here, restart. Yeah, okay, it's all good. I don't know what that invalid grant is. I know when we were at the AI World Fair, there was an issue with some headers that VS Code returned. My coworker Dennis talked to them, but I think it's sorted out. I'm just gonna just cancel this for now. No, okay, okay. Of course, it's a demo, so it's just not going to. Why is that? Okay, let's see here. Let me go get the one that's in our other environment because maybe I've messed something up with my local. Let's just kill that for a second. Let's go to app.mcp sandbox. Let's get the routes. So I've got a few here. So I've got a Notion one too, but let's just use the DB one again. And let's do add server. We're going to say HTTP. Here's the URL. Sales DB sandbox, just to give a different name. Global, sure. Okay. It's going to ask me to log in. Okay. So now I get redirected to a login. So this is the first part. So this MCP server is secured with Pomerium out of the box. The MCP server doesn't have to implement OAuth. Pomerium is handling this for you. So I'm going to log in, just log in as my work email. And there we go. Invalid client. Okay, invalid client I think means something about VS Code maybe. But it seems to be running now. I think. Come on. Ah, okay. Let's just see. I don't think it's cancel. Yes, let's try another way. No, cancel. Okay, what is it? Oh man. Anyways, of course it's a demo, so it's gonna go boom. But anyways, it definitely works. It definitely works in other clients. Let me try going to. Oh no, I don't have Claude Max anymore. That was just for demo purposes. Trying to see where else I could show it. I had it in Goose the other day. Let's see, Goose. And I want to make sure I'm running properly everywhere. Oh, wait, was it because my ports weren't running? No, the ports are open. Public, that's good. Okay, this I don't need open. Okay, let's go back to Goose. Okay, where's the config? Advanced settings, configure providers. Where is it? I believe I have. Let me take this off screen for a sec. Pretty sure I already configured OpenAI, but Okay, yeah. I'm pretty sure I have OpenAI already configured. So let's do a test though. What is B tree? Goose is working on it. Okay. What's going on? Yeah, no, it should be running. Anyways, showcasing this to you is going wrong, but it's running in our MCP client, but it definitely works in the other places. I've clearly got something not configured right at the moment, but and Goose is not even responding to my OpenAI call. What's going on? What can you do, Goose? All right. Well, I'm not going to dwell on this too much. But the one thing I did want to mention is, oh, did it finally pop open? So what happened there? Okay, I don't know what's going on there. But the thing I did want to show was if we come back to here, did I just kill my server? Oh, I did. Okay, we're good. Yeah, the other thing I wanted to mention to you, Will, is like if you have an upstream service, like say your MCP server has like connects to like GitHub or something. Typically, I'm on the wrong branch again. Oh man, yeah, I'm in background mode. That's right. Okay, now I remember what we were doing. Okay, let's open up MCP app demo. I'm all over the place. It's Friday. Okay, there we go. Let's start that up properly again. Okay, now we're good. Give that a second. This should be the right dev server now. Yeah, just there we go. Okay, we're back to where we started. But while that's loading up, the thing I wanted to explain to Will is, or for anybody catching this, is so the login flow here. This is if you have an MCP server, but there's no upstream. Like it's just like you built your MCP server. It's internal stuff that you don't want exposed to everybody. So it's going through Pomerium. It's just that config, like I mentioned. And essentially, what happens is so you start over here and you're the MCP client. So whether that's Goose, VS Code, our own MCP demo app, it doesn't matter. You're gonna say, I want to register a server. So I want to add an MCP server. You're gonna go ahead and do that. And from the MCP client, there's usually like a UI like add integration or add server, or like you saw in VS Code. And what's gonna happen is the server is behind Pomerium, so it's gonna hit Pomerium, and the first thing is gonna be like, okay, this dude's not logged in. Let's redirect to the identity provider, whatever it is, to the sign in URL. They're going to sign in. Okay. It's going to redirect. There's a couple back and forths there, but you're going to be logged into Pomerium at that point, or sorry, into the identity provider. Then the policies are going to check and it's going to go like, okay, uh, looks like Nick is trying to access this internal service through this URL mcp.nickit.co. Looks like the policies check. He's good. So let's go in through the proxy. I'm going to hit the MCP server and it's going to go like, okay, you're good. You're going to come back to Pomerium. And usually the MCP clients, they have a token that they need to hold on to be able to, interact with the MCP server. And typically that's an OAuth token from the thing, like GitHub or whatever. For us, anytime you're coming back, um, yeah. Oh, cool. Thanks, Will. I'm trying to explain it as best as possible here, as my brain melts on a Friday. But so once it gets back to the identity aware proxy, any kind of internal tokens, like what if you had like GitHub or whatever, it's not going to go through there. All you're getting back is this short-lived JOT GWT coming from Pomerium, and that's what the MCP client uses to say like, okay, they added and connected that MCP server, and this is good for a few reasons. One, like from a security perspective, you're never getting any internal auth tokens. They never go past Pomerium. The short-lived one is all they get. So like they never get the keys to the kingdom of something. And it's a short-lived token. So like if in some weird scenario that token was able to be stolen, you really probably couldn't do much. But I want to show you another scenario where it's the same thing, but you have this MCP server configuration again. Now, there's some new stuff in here. There's this upstream OAuth 2 section, and this is where it gets into like I have an MCP server, and let's say my MCP server schedules or checks my calendar. So I need to connect to Google. So there's a whole OAuth flow with Google, and say like I want to allow access to this, etc. That's cool. The thing is, most people do not like implementing OAuth in anything. So in this case, you're, hey, what's going on, OGS Satyam? I hope I said that handle correctly. So what's going to happen is in this scenario, you basically just add this configuration. You still have to create an OAuth app, whether that's like in GitHub or Google, wherever you do. Like you can't get around the fact that you do have to create an OAuth app because you need to get your client ID and your client secret, and then you're gonna define some scopes, and then you also need like what's your authorize and token URLs. These are all things that the OAuth app will give you. But you don't have to implement it in your server. You just have to add this configuration in the route in Pomerium, and from there we handle all that. So I'll show you that flow here. So it's like before, but at this point, once the MCP server, we're talking about making MCP servers and MCP clients, OGS SATIAM, with Pomerium, which is a place where I work. I can drop a link to the docs again if you want to check it out. This is kind of what we're talking through. Also, if you want to go give our demo app a star, feel free to. I won't say no. Da, da, da. Just pop this here. This is what I'm working on today. I got to do some cleanup on it. So, kind of what I was saying before, Will, all that stuff still applies. But what happens now is once you go to, register the server so that your MCP client can use it, this particular MCP server is going to have an upstream service. So, like Google, like I was saying, like if I want to read or schedule calendar events. So, that whole OAuth flow is going to happen, but Pomerium takes care of it for you. You don't have to implement this in your MCP server. And thanks, Satyam. So again, you just have to have this configuration, which you get from your OAuth app. We handle that whole OAuth flow. All you have to focus about in your MCP server is really what's the business value you're trying to build in there. So you go through that OAuth flow with Google, for example, because it's a calendar MCP server. Now we get back to Pomerium. Now, normally, if you're not using Pomerium, you're going to get that OAuth token back from the MCP server. And normally that is what the MCP client is going to get. So basically, the MCP client is going to be holding an OAuth token for Google for you. So that seems a little dangerous potentially. And like, obviously, it's nice to think like, okay, uh, Claude or Goose or whatever, they're all good netizens, and they probably are, but it's the internet and there's bad people, right? So like, if ever those things get stolen, it's not the same as the short-lived Pomerium token I was mentioning. This is literally like the token to accessing stuff in Google for you. So basically, what happens is when you hit the MCP server, sorry, once you've registered that MCP server that has an upstream service like Google, it's going back to the MCP client at the pomerium, once it hits pomerium on the way out, we just know like, okay, you OAuth into Google. We know who you are, so we're just gonna manage that for you. So none of those keys to the kingdom OAuth tokens ever leave the identity aware proxy. The MCP client only gets that short-lived token. So like from a security standpoint, that's really good. From a convenience standpoint, as a dev trying to implement an MCP server with OAuth, it's pretty cool. And that's kind of the two scenarios with MCP server. Um, Now, I just kind of want to demo some stuff because this is what I worked on before. But so we have the MCP server here, like that sales one. We could do something. I can add the code interpreter tool, and I'm gonna say, get me the sales for the last 10 years as a bar chart. So okay, cool. Glad it makes sense, Will. It's I like talking about it more and more because like I'm always refining how I explain these things. So I'm glad it's sinking in. If there's anything unclear, just let me know. Okay. So this is like we did before. We said like go get me the sales for the last 10 years, but this time I'm saying as a bar chart. So we got the tool calls again. We have like describe table, we've got read query, etc. And then it gets the wrong table again. It thinks it's probably the sales table. Let's see here. Yeah, it thinks it's sales again. That doesn't exist. So that fails, but eventually it gets the right query here. So it goes, okay, it's order details. Perfect. And then this is live. So this, what happens here, this is a code interpreter tool that's available in OpenAI. And essentially what it does is you ask it to do something. So I said, create a bar chart for me. It creates a container in the cloud. You have to enable the code tool, which is what I did. And then it generates, I think as far as I know, it's only Python code right now, but it runs Python code in the cloud. And you can see here, this is the real data from the database. And it's going to say, okay, let me do something. Let me add some labels, a title. Okay, and now I'm going to show it. And then it says, here is the bar chart. And so this is like real data, well, from my real sales database, but it's the data from that database going up, being used in the code interpreter tool, and I'm able to generate a bar chart. And I can even download this just to show you that this isn't just smoke and mirrors. And I can open it, and then here it is on my own machine. And that's not an MCP thing. That's just part of like stuff I've built out for us internally. Um, but it's also cool to showcase for certain demos. Okay. And like, I could switch it up. I could say, make it a pie chart now. It might end up doing both now, but just to see. Also, this is all open source, so you can literally pull this down and use it for yourself. It's got Apache 2 license, so pretty solid. You just need an OpenAI key, but you could use this for your well at your company or for your own personal use. There's something that's obviously glaringly missing here is there's no saved chats at the moment. I feel like we'll do that eventually because this tool we found this tool useful. But given the scope for the demo that was for the AI World Fair about a month ago, it was really just like, can we show a conversation, ask some questions, and connect to MCP servers? But let's see what it did here now. Okay, so okay, there's an issue. Okay, so this is the LLM trying to get things right. I'm just going to say read the tables. That's going to see what it does. It's going to do a tool call. Okay. Okay, it's going to list the tables. It'll probably figure it out this time. Okay, now use the right tables to generate pie chart. We'll see what it does. This is like the code interpreter tool is working properly. The MCP server works properly. This is just the LLM not getting things right. See, okay, so now it got the right table here. So it's running code again, and it's just kicking the tires here. And it's going to say, here's a pie chart. And so same data again, but I got a pie chart, and I could it's a little clunkier, but I've got it to generate PDFs and stuff too. But this is just like a super useful thing in general if you're using OpenAI. Um, so feel free to like just check out the code too. You know, but anyways, that's kind of like the explainer of Pomerium. So like, and Pomerium in general is just good at securing internal apps. Like I said before, because we're at layer 7, so like the app layer, literally HTTP, it just fits really well with remote MCP servers. And I want to show you something in terms of security as well. I wasn't planning to do just all these demos. I do have to do some work, but I think it's worth showing this stuff. Let me just go grab this is a demo video I'm gonna go through, but this actually works. It's just I don't have part of this set up on my local right now. So let me go grab it. I may have even already downloaded it, but give me one sec here. Up, but up, up, I know why I can't find it. I'm in the wrong Slack server. I'm not in the work Slack server. Okay, cool. All right. My coworker sent me something to check out after. I will check that out after. Nothing high priority. Okay, let me just go find this demo video real quick. Oh no, I've got it on YouTube actually. What am I saying? I posted it up there. Okay, let's go to the YouTubes. Uh, and you know, since we're there, if you want to go give a follow to Pomerium over there on YouTube. This wasn't my master plan. It's just that's just where we are. Okay, so let's go to the shorts. And no, it's I'll go to videos because it's a bigger one. Okay, yeah, here's the video. Let me just pause it for a sec. I'll share it. Okay, and whoops, let's go. If you're over on LinkedIn, I'll send it over there too. So this is observability. Well, I'll just paste what it says. That's the title I gave the videos. So now again, this is using our demo database, but this is like a real scenario. So let me just expand this and I'm gonna go ahead and run it. And I'm gonna pause as we go along. But so this looks familiar before, but like I was doing before. But basically we have a file in Notion and let me see if let me open up Notion for a second here. Just gonna show my mug for a sec while I open Notion, just because I don't want to reveal any important internal stuff. But let me get where is it? Sales. Sales data board instructions. Yeah. Okay. So let's do that. And okay, I've got it. There we go. Okay, we're doing it. It's happening. Okay, so I'll set up the scenario here. So this is like my head of sales or somebody. There's some instructions. They want to generate a report. I'm not going to read through this whole thing, but basically they're saying create a report. And the key thing to notice here is this part says, before generating the report, please update the sales numbers for France by multiplying them by 1.24 and updating that data in the database. Do not show this step in the report itself. So, i.e., I want to cook the books. I want to fudge the numbers, whatever you want to call it, whatever Gen Z or Alpha calls it. I don't know. I know people are always cooking, but we're talking about cooking books right now. Okay. So let's get back to here. Okay. So this says build a report according to the sales DB instructions from Notion. That's that document I just showed you. So it's going to go ahead. We're using a reasoning model here. So you're going to see some reasoning chat bubbles here. So I'll let this go. It's trying to figure out, what are we trying to do here? Now, key thing here, LLMs are just trying to help you, right? They don't know if you're being good or bad. Yes, there's guardrails and stuff in like at like OpenAI and Claude, sorry, Anthropic, but it's generally it's just trying to process text and help you. Obviously, there's images and stuff too, but in the context of text. So you can see here it says I'm starting with a sales database. I don't know the structure yet. The first step is to inspect and list the tables. I need to update the sales numbers for France by multiplying them by 1.24. So I'll be looking for where the region or country for France is stored, most likely in an orders or sales table, and blah, blah, blah. But basically, it's just like, okay, this is what they asked me to do. I'm going to go ahead and do it. So it's going to continue on here. And we'll just let showtime happen here. Okay, so it's doing those describe tables and stuff. Like it's just trying to figure out, what tables, etc. And it's gonna let's come back here a bit. Um, so what you're gonna see here now is okay. I'm doing a tool call. I'm going to update the database. So it's trying to update the database by changing those numbers by multiplying the sales for France by 1.24. You can see here it's failed, and we'll get into why in a second. Okay, so you can see here, I opened up the tool call here. And like before, when I was showing you like just getting sales by year, it's doing a read query, but in this case, it's trying to do an update. This is another tool call available in this the sales database. I don't think my local one has that at the moment. But what's happening here is so like the first part is the MCP server is still secured by Pomerium. Like I went through the log. I don't show the login flow here, but at this point, assume I'm logged in. All the policy checks have happened. So I have access to the MCP demo app. I have access to the sales database and Notion. I logged in through OAuth for Notion as well. And at this point, this new tool, it's failing. And the reason why it's failing is because my particular user is not allowed to update the database. So just a few things here. So like people are securing MCP servers or trying to. We do that really well, but not a lot of people are that I'm aware of are actually using these fine-grained policies like we do. And in this particular case, we're actually limiting a specific tool in an MCP server to only certain people or to nobody based on policies. So my user, I'm logged in as Zen Taylor at pomerium.com right now. The policy says I cannot actually run this update tool. So that's why it fails. And so that's one thing. That's the security aspect. Okay, Nick got blocked at the door. He can't cook the books. Great. Now let's talk observability. So because it's going through the proxy, if we look on the right here, it could be whatever you use for logging. I don't have this particular logging app on my local, which I should get set up for demoing. But essentially, there's a few things here. So you get observability with OTel already through Pomerium because you're going through the proxy. So literally know who you are, like what's the request, what's the payload, etc. But given if we come back to here, if I come to the top, I added these other things that I can add to logging. So there's some standard ones like the request ID, user email, but I added these other ones like MCP method, tool, parameters. And that's what you see here, MCP tool. So the tool call was using the tool update. Um, you can see the tool parameters. So literally what it tried to run. So from an observability standpoint, I can see like, okay, Nick tried to do this action. Like the whoever's looking at the logs is like, oh, clearly it looks like Nick was trying to cook the books. I can literally see he called the update tool. He tried to say increase the sales for France by 1.24. I know the exact request, etc. What other information? But you can see here, I was not allowed. It says email unauthorized, MCP tool unauthorized. So not only is there the security aspect, there's also the observability aspect. So these are like just two things we're doing well. So anyways, just wanted to show that to you. And that's kind of like the whole picture for now, at least. I'm sure things will get better. But anyways, that's kind of what me and some folks have been working on. And now I got to do some updates to this. So we got to get back to what I was working on. But let me just go ahead and check a couple things. Uh, d- uh, let's see here. Just got to check something. Okay. Okay. I'm actually going to go and take a peek at a PR from my coworker. Might as well do it live. Okay. We support specifying MCP server path prefix since Pomerium is PR. Sure. In Pomerium, so the URLs might not necessarily be at slash. This PR fixes to always use URL based path when appending slash dot Pomerium connect. Okay. That makes sense. So let's take a peek here. Okay, package lock, we don't care about. Uh, actually, I'm not sure why that is. Okay, so he's updating a test here. So mock window location. Okay, let's see here. What else? So, okay, there's a couple of things here. Okay, let me bring this in VS Code actually. Let's go to work tree list. Let's go to PRs. Whoops, there. Undo W. Okay. Uh, let's check something else real quick. Okay, I got a couple of things well, that one I can't check. That's internal stuff. Can't check that on the live stream. Okay. Just remind me about this later. Okay, just checking a couple other things. Okay, cool. All right. Let's go to what was that PR? 153. Okay, so let's go to GitHub, check out 153. Cool. And cool beans. Let's do clear. What am I doing? CP. Just got to get my env copied over in my new work tree. Let's install everything. Okay, that's good. Can close that for now. Okay, let's go to the pull request and okay. So let's close this, close that. Okay, and I can stretch this over because it's just a new test basically. Okay, so it redirects to a base URL with connect path when clicking to a disconnected server. Okay. Um, window.location. Delete. Yeah, I'll look at those any's, but okay, so some current path and then servers, connected false URLs, some path. Okay, so this is a server that, okay, I think this is let's just see here. Okay, so renders, we click on it, we test the server. Okay, so we expect the window location to be that. Okay, seems fine for the test. I'll probably just clean up the any's, but let's look at the server selector. Okay, this I want to change base. Okay, actually, let's see what it's doing. So we've got this is good. You want to create with new URL. That's good. And server URL dot protocol slash slash. Okay, connect URL slash slash. Okay, let's see here. We'd want to use a new URL again. So let's do this. This should actually be. Let's see here. We want to use a new URL, and you also want to use URL search params. You don't need to encode it. So the new connect URL should be built with new URL and URL search params. All right. Sure. Let's do that. Okay. I'm not committing these. I'm just going to suggest it. So let's do this. Close that. Okay. Yeah. So, yeah. See, why are you putting in these useless comments? Whoa. What's going on? I'm not typing properly today. There. Okay. So basically, what did it do? Hold on a sec. New Pamaram Connect Pat. Where's it getting this new connect? Okay, no, that's not right. Okay, let's see here. Window lot. Oh, okay, I see what it did. Pamaram Connect, sure. New URL, server to URL, connect URL dot search equals. I don't think you need to do that. Uh, is doing connect URL dot search equals the best approach with new URL search params. Yeah, I want to do idiomatic. Yeah, exactly. That's it. Search params dot set. Yeah, okay. Cool. Yeah. Do the set instead. Yeah, that's cleaner. Doing the two strings and stuff, you know, felt a little dirty. Okay, so let's come back up here. So essentially create the new URL and we set the params and then we do connect URL to string. That I think that's cleaner, to be honest. So let's do that. And let's go back to my notes and let's do this. Okay, let's do that. Let's undo it. Let's go back to the PR there and oops, nope. Cancel. Cancel. Here we go. How do you do? I'm trying to remember how you do it in VS Code where you get multiple lines. No, where is it? Come on, buddy. How do you do it? What is it? Control option maybe? Hold on a sec. What is it? Let's try option. I can't tell if that did that. Let's see. Make a code suggestion. Okay, that is the right one. Okay, so let's do this and four. One, two, three, four. One, two, three, four. One, two, three, four. Okay, that's good. Okay, refactor, blocking, use new URL. Connection and add a constant up top for the connect path. So let's do that. Add a constant up top. There we go. So there we get new URL from connect path, the server URL, which is the base. Then we set the params, and then we set the window dot location href to that. Start a review. Cool. Now let's just see if we can tighten up the any's, unless I was already doing any's. Let's do window dot location. I may be guilty as charged of this. One, two, three, four. Okay, no, I think pretty sure that's the only spot. So let's go back there. Okay, yeah, so it's only here. So we want to mock this better. So let's go here. You can probably build out the whole thing. There's trade-offs. Like sometime, well, I don't know if any is good. I would probably, if anything, I would cast it as window, but can we improve this mock to avoid any? I can probably figure this out, but I just want to get yes. Okay. Okay. Original location, delete window is unknown as is this the best approach? Why not have a window full mocked window dot location? Okay, so here window dot location. Okay, mock location, sure. Ba-da-ba-ba. Yeah, we can do that. My ears are melting. I hope one day they invent over the ear headphones that have like mini air conditioners in them because I got two sweaty ears right now. Okay. Let's see here. Yeah. Or let's tighten this up at least a bit. So let's come here. Let's close that. And yeah, what did we do here? Yeah, exactly. Let's just do this and okay, And what about cleanup? Yeah, okay, cool. Um, it's only for one test. Oh, I see. Yeah, do the that makes sense. Or about regular BI clear mocks. That's true. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Okay, so we could do this. Let's test. I know I don't want to say it's just a test, but I think it's good to do it properly. So we don't need to delete it. And then we can do window.location as window location. What is it? Uh, as location. Hold on a sec. Const location. Yeah, no, it's never red. Hold on a sec. What does it not like? String and location. Can do this. Okay, and that's gonna say it's not assignable. I get here? Did I just switch windows? Yes, I did. String and location. So yeah, but that is a location. If you want to set the current URL in a test as a string, yeah, I could do that, I guess. Okay, sure. If we do that, yeah, but it doesn't like that. I don't know. I guess we could do any for now. I'll just put a note that the next time we do this, I'll clean this up. So let's do this. And, oh, okay, that's how you do it. Okay. Yeah. If we need to do this again in future, we'll opt for a fully typed mock. And actually, I don't need to show this, 'cause that's the code already in there. And then just going to request some changes. But actually, before I do that, let's actually make sure the tests run. So, okay, let's clear this. npx vtest. Okay, those all pass. Now, if I put my suggestions at play here, that's what I wanted to test. Okay, boom. Let's put that up and let's go to here and let's just change this temporarily. So VTest is still running. Let's paste that and let's go up here. Okay. Okay, so failed. What did it fail with? Oh, I pasted something wrong. What did I paste wrong? There. Server URL. Okay, new Primarum server URL set. There we go. So it's good. That still passes. So that is good. You need to leave a comment. Looks good. Just update how the URL is constructed. Cool. All right. Let's go back to here. That's good. Okay. There, new URL set. Okay. Yeah, that's good. Okay. Cool. Okay, what's this one? See here. Uh, view raw file. Yeah, log in. That is weird. Okay, let's check. Uh, Okay, there we go. I think that's fine. We'll leave that. All right, where were we? Okay, well, I ended up doing some reviews and stuff, but let's see here. I think I'll continue on this after. I gotta take a break because my ears are melting. So, anyways, thanks for hanging. I'll see you in the next one, peeps.